So it's good to be back here, Rob. It's been over a week since we've done this, well over a week. And so we're going to make it a shorter one because we're still a little hungover from WrestleMania week and all the action that we were a part of. But
busy time. It's a busy month.
Yes.
Super busy month. So hopefully I can keep my answers down to a reasonable amount of time and not have us here all night because I got a bunch of stuff to do. It's a short week at home, and then I'm out tomorrow to Detroit for Astronomicon.
Damn, that's right. Somebody said in the chat here, I did see it. They're looking forward to seeing you this week. Where are they at? I want to give them a shout out here. Is it Livonia? Is that the name of the place, Rob? It's called
Livonia, Michigan. Yep, right outside of Detroit.
That's exactly what this person said. Oh, here it is. Real American. He said, excited to meet Rob on Saturday in Livonia. So how about that?
Should we have a poster to put up on future episodes when we're talking about my weekend adventures?
Yeah, what you got going on and stuff like that. We can definitely start doing that, Al.
I got posters.
Yeah, I got them posters and stuff.
They're all up at robvandam.com right now, by the way. All the shows that I have posters for, not all the shows that I've booked at, but that's the plan. Those I will put them up there as they come closer or finalize, or I get a damn poster.
Yep, that's it. Oh, dude. Yeah. Is it okay? This is Astronomicon.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, looks pretty sweet, man. Yeah,
Kurt Angle, the Olympic hero.
Ooh.
Can you put up a? I can send you a poster, but
I think I can grab it right here. Let me see. Save image as.
They just sent me one, a new one. So
let's see. Hopefully the quality turns out okay when I use it here. But yeah, we'll post that up there. But yeah, I mean, holy crap, it was a weekend and a half. I tell you, like I complain about all the places I went to, but geez, you freaking wrestled.
Yes, get out with that. I was confused the whole time too because I was thinking that WrestleCon autograph signing was going to happen in the day Thursday, and it was just confusing because I thought it was 4 days of that: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I was at least doing double shift every day, and like on Friday I had 3 things because we did WrestleCon, we did block party at the ECW Arena, and then we went to the Hall of Fame. So it was a lot of running around. I stayed an extra day to do more work on Monday, and then just got home Tuesday. And so it takes me 2 full days when I get home until my brain is at full capacity. I try not to handle any business the first day because my brain's about 60%. Sometimes I get a little cocky and I say, I'll allow myself, to do like 4 productive things. But if I call somebody, sometimes I could I lose my train of thought and I forget what I'm talking about a few times. And I'm like, damn, I should have waited till this is day 2. So now my brain's at more like 75%. But don't be surprised if I don't have the recalling ability that I pride myself on so much, because pretty proud that my memory is sharper than it's ever been. It continues to even get sharper. That's a pretty cool thing to be experiencing. But
yeah, exactly. Do you credit that to partially having some time off and kind of like being away from wrestling in a certain aspect of it? Like, does that kind of help you to like kind of recharge the batteries in, so to speak, way when it comes to your memory? You think that plays a factor?
Just being away from wrestling?
Yeah, kind of not on the consistent schedule that you used to be, where it was like always going kind of thing. Do you think a break away from that has kind of helped you be like, okay, hey, this kind of charged up memories and give you some time?
I would say that's definitely a big factor. When I'm tired, my brain doesn't work as good. And for me, and what I'm used to, I get a full night's sleep always. So for the majority of the people I talk to that seem to get 5-6 hours sleep, I can't do that because 8 is like a minimum for me. Sometimes me and Katie both go way over that. And so in the event that I only get a few hours sleep, 2-3 hours or whatever. That's how I'm going to notice it. Is my brain will be um, depleted of thoughts. It doesn't work as good. It's like it's running out of gas, and it just starts. It happens. And this last week, I pushed myself like right to the limit. So on the end of the day, Monday, I just I felt like my brain literally like went to sleep. People were talking to me, and I was just like, I've got like boom, like right now. I said, this is it. You know, we were filming something, and I said, we got to do this one take. We got to call it quits. I cannot squeeze one more drop of effort out of me. And hey, I'm a workhorse, I guess, but I don't know, man. While I'm going through it and stuff, I'm thinking, man, I don't want to work this hard next year.
Hey, are we able to break the news that you have a little new thing going on here that you were filming for?
We'll break that at 420.
Okay, I like that. Sounds good. Yeah, guys, tune in for that. It's pretty cool stuff going on that we got cooking. Rob's got cooking on. Antonio Cirensos. I know I mispronounced that. He says we need a stiff match like RVD and Kurt. You guys, we talked about it before. You guys always laid into one another and like each other for it too.
Yeah, you were talking about my match. I had a match Thursday at the 2300 Arena, the old Viking Hall. Super cool. And I wrestled Mike Speedball Bailey. A lot of fans had said that they were really looking forward and wanted to see that. And from what I can understand, they were not disappointed. Everybody seemed to enjoy the match. Talking about hustling, this was like Thursday night. And like I said, it kicked off the week for me, but he had 2 more matches that night, 2 more different shows to go to after he was leaving there. So that's, you got to respect the hustle.
Yes.
In WrestleMania week, that's what you do, especially, depending on what level you are and how much you want to be approachable. There's a lot of opportunities to scatter yourself all over that week.
Absolutely, yeah. No, there you are at the ECW.
I am.
Yep.
I'm the one with the RVD outfit and the RVD pose.
Yeah, that's you. And there's Jerry Lynn in the stripes, and then Fonzie has his back to the photo in that one. That was such a cool surprise too. I knew you were fighting Speedball, but then Jerry coming out as the special guest ref, plus Fonzie with you on top of that. That was a one-of-a-kind experience that a lot of people haven't been able to see in a while. So that was
nostalgic.
Yes, very nostalgic. Very nostalgic. How was it interact with Jerry again and everybody?
Good. Jerry does a good job as a ref, and usually what that means is that you don't run into him too many times and don't communicate any more than you have to when you're out there. So that was cool, and it was cool having Fonzie. Fonzie was originally booked, I think, to be with somebody else, as I understand it. And I was thinking, well, that's silly. Why isn't he going out there with me? And obviously, that's what happened. A lot of people are going to say that Fonzie helped me win just by helping me win, but that's just the way people talk.
That is
just by him throwing the chair and for the Van Daminator, bam.
That was fun.
Fun though, fun crowd. And one thing that was interesting to me, this is the first match that I've had like in a long time where the crowd didn't chant, at least not that I remember. Now that I think about it, it's possible that, there could have been a little one that slid by me. But the point I was going to make, I don't think that the crowd chanted, you still got it. And I thought that was cool because they don't have to.
They don't have to. You never lost
every single time necessarily, unless you're surprised every time. So that was cool.
Yeah. What'd you think about Speedball, working with him, his style? I thought he complimented you really well too, and that kind of almost, you guys both like had a matter of respect, shaking hands and all that stuff. But he got a little underhanded at certain points there during that match too, Bob.
Yeah. There's a little confusion. First time we'd been in the ring together, and he's really good, and he does a lot of amazing moves. I see why the crowd likes him really well. Um, some of that, I can't imagine what that feels like. If he's jumping up and doing a shooting star flip into a double knee drop on your chest or back or whatever. But he didn't catch me with one of those. But I know that he does that, and that's amazing in itself. But very cool kid, and I would definitely like to work with him again.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It was a lot of fun. You guys complimented one another really well. Just a fun event and atmosphere in there. The crowd, I mean, they were chanting RVD right off the bat, and then on top of it too, like everybody's just super into it, and all that kind of unfolded. It was a nice, fun match, man. It was really, really well done. Hey, Seth does chime in. We back, baby, between Spotify and YouTube. It's like they want to make it impossible for independent artists to get a break. RVD, everyone wants to know, how do you rate Logan Paul's Mania Frog Splash? I rate it 4.5 stars. Did you happen to see his Frog Splash, Rob?
No, I didn't see it. But I mean, if you're gonna give it 4.5, it's probably a 5 star. So you're probably being a little critical on it, But mine are also, by the way, not always the same. And this is one thing I pointed out here before, but it's funny to me that fans would not even consider the difference in the rings with something like that. Um, every time you have a match or you get in front of people, that one time is what you're going to get judged by. So if you only do a match every few months or something, like me sometimes it's every couple of weeks. Like on the 20th, I got the match with AEW coming up. Yep. But all it would take would be like one time for me to have do something half-assed, and everyone would just be like, "Yeah, oh, you see, he ain't got it," and then use that. Say I'm in a ring, a shitty ring, when the ropes are all loose, trying to pull off a frog splash. Not on AEW; they have higher standards. But for instance, and then in the fan's mind, the basic thinker, they could use the footage of that and then compare it with something of a much higher caliber ring with someone that could or could not be doing and capable of doing a much better frog splash. But in the fans' mind, they would just see those together and see, here's the proof. You can see he got way more height than he did. And it's just, basic thinkers, and it's the way that they think. So every time I get out there, I gotta live up to at least the standards that I set for myself, which should be passable by any fans with realistic expectations, and even for the whole effing show.
Right. And let's like you mentioned it too. You have you do it different ways, but you have your own style of delivering that frog splash. Same with Eddie Guerrero, he had his own thing. But then Logan Paul, his was really, he put his own spin on it too, and it was pretty neat to see. And like, he's smooth, man. He's really smooth in the ring. And I know he's working with Randy Orton that night, and he worked with Kevin Owens that night too. But he's such a good, he's caught on super fast, and he's great at being a heel.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's definitely just one of the high spots that I've seen of his little highlight reels here and there on social media. He definitely is not only very athletic, but also, has got the balls to pull off some of these moves that are higher risk and in front of a lot of people. You can get nervous about fucking up on some of these amazing dives and shit. So definitely, he seems like I don't know, like it was a good calling for him, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And he carries that United States title around all over the place, so it gets that publicity and like gets wrestling over more. So it's just cool to see. It's like, boom, he's embracing it. It's
that'd be the kind of stuff like when I was in WWE that I would have hated just because of my competitive spirit and competitive nature. Anybody that was getting TV time that I wasn't, or getting more money than I was, or whatever. It just all seemed, unfair. But it is the kind of business where if you really feel like that, you can say something about it and you might get somewhere. You can go to the time, you can say, hey, I think I should get more money because this or that. And it might take you somewhere, but you gotta have the balls to do that too. And that's a whole nother game to play. Because it's a lot easier to just go around and be like, man, they don't do things right.
Yeah, right. Was there apprehension when you first got to WWE to be like, all right, I'm just gonna kind of like play it out, see how it goes, and then did you finally reach a point where it's like, you know what, I am gonna speak up about something like this? Was that a certain motivation part, or did you kind of always have that mindset even going into WWE at the time?
Well, for me, my very first in 2001 when I signed the contract, my very first show live event that I went to in Atlanta, and I worked Johnny Stramboli.
Yep.
Yeah, we had a match, and when I got paid for that very first match, I went right to the guy in charge of financing because he was the guy that I met with before I signed the WWE contract, and that was JR. And so I went to him because he's the one that was telling me about the money I was going to make. And I'm like, what's this $500? I'm not a $500 wrestler. I said, I'll, add another zero on that. That's what I was making before I came here to WWF, like WTF, WWF.
So you weren't afraid to speak up right away about stuff like that then.
Right. But looking back at it, I definitely, could have kept doing that later on. But after a while, it seemed like part of me resented that I would have to, which is probably stupid, but that's how I felt, like kind of like, man, don't you see everyone out there with RVD signs? Don't you hear them screaming RVD? Because sometimes they made me feel like I didn't have the value that maybe I really did, or maybe I would have needed to feel like I did in order to have the balls to go in there and say, hey, I should get more money or something like that. I should get better treatment. Because sometimes, I swear, just sometimes all it would take in my head, and a lot of wrestlers will tell you, they do this on purpose, man. It's control. And I'm not going to, shove that all down your throat right now. But I will tell you that sometimes just showing up to work and then having them tell you their plans of what they all got together and met with and decided was a great idea to get their best time out of you that day. Sometimes you would get so offended that you wouldn't feel too valuable in their minds, like
Right.
a lot of times it was promos, a lot of times it was putting over wrestlers that I did not think I should be putting over. A lot of times it was just feeling like I'm meat for somebody else to get over, or I'm just part of someone else's storyline tonight. And there was so much of that I personally was just like, they must not think very much of me or see in me what the fans see in me. And there probably is a lot of truth to that. And maybe that's why I'm on my couch right now. Maybe that is true because maybe the guy in charge right now of talent could be of that state of mind. But either way, it never, ever let my ego feel so big that I thought I wasn't expendable.
Right.
You never would have heard me say, they got rid of me. Me. They fired me. Can you believe that? I know, right? Never. I never felt like that was even possible.
Yeah.
Even though everyone had an RVD sign. Everybody. And they would always tell me, like, man, you got the loudest pops of the night in this town, this town. That was something I would hear a lot. Probably not every wrestler gets to hear that kind of feedback,
Sure. Yeah. No.
And during all of that, sometimes it would just be like, hey, you're going up there with so-and-so 4 minutes, put him over with his shitty finish.
With this shitty finish. But no, that's cool that you were able to keep that in perspective a lot of the time because you are a star, and like getting the reception that you would get like week in and week out from the crowds and everything like that had to be reassuring and stuff. But to be like, hey, I'm part of the system here, and anything could happen. The shoe could drop at any point, and it's great to have that perspective because it
I
kind of
guess. I mean, that's what worked for me. But if you
works.
look at some of the other guys, like I don't know, say CM Punk, that's been so vocal and doing the pipe bomb promos, and then leaving and doing all the promos, interviews, getting personal, saying they fired me on my wedding day because they wanted to stick it to me. Boom, boom, boom. Look at someone like that. That what do? Give them the top fucking pay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, for me, for my spirit, and it's great to have that universal perspective and know that in the big ocean of life, I'm merely a drop at best. I mean, that is important for me, for my inner balance. But in that kind of a business, could also probably hold me back.
Yeah, to an extent, I think. Yeah, there's certainly a balance, I think, to thinking in that way. A lot
What
of
if I would have went when I was super over and ECW was there and said, boom, we need to be doing this, or I need to be getting this. I want to fucking this in my contract. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, it's not me. And I used to laugh at some of the guys that did it, but then looking back at it, like really, who's laughing more? Me because that's not the old school way of doing business. You should be good enough to earn your spot instead of demanding it in your contract. Or the guy that got the spot, that got paid. Who's laughing more?
Yeah, right, right. Well, Sabu, when we had him on as a guest, he mentioned too. I was like, "What's the big thing that the Sheik taught you that you take away from?" And he was like, "Always stick to who you are," kind of thing. And like that kind of, he mentioned about that, and he was talking about like, hey, the opportunity that he had to go in the WWE and he didn't decide to do it, and like they do, who knows what would have happened and stuff like that. So keeping to that kind of structure and stuff like that. Do you think you kind of learned that mentality too from the Sheik in a lot of ways?
I think that because I have the Sheik's old school foundation, what he brought to my perspective of this whole new world when I was just getting into it, he taught me how to look at things forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like he pointed me in the right direction, and then just because I was at that stage, his teachings and perspective would affect the way that I take in all information forward because he prepared me for what was ahead of me. So that's really awesome. As far as what myself and Sabu have in mind, or I mean have together. You said that he said you always have to be yourself. Is that what he said?
Yeah, basically, he said something that I'm paraphrasing, but it was
Right.
to the effect of like,
That guy, once you get him talking, you can't shut him up. Yeah, I mean that's important for me as a person, So that's it. It's all perspective, Business wise, maybe not the best, but spirit wise, there's a lot of things, That's why people only know the image of me. That's what inspired them in their life, and a lot of people, since they only know the image of RVD, they would make decisions way different than I would. Same thing with Sabu or whatever, like, maybe they would say, man, RVD should have retired 10 years ago. And then he'd be, and then we would always think of him as being, but even think that's evidence that they don't know the real person, and to them, the image, the reputation, the way that other people see that person is way more important to them, of course, because they're not that person.
yeah,
That person still has to go through his life every day and make decisions, on what to do, where to be, how to do it. So that's something that fans and basic thinkers won't realize unless right now they get it because I'm pointing it out, and then I go, "Oh, okay, yes, that's true."
That's what you got to know.
Yeah, but fact of life, though.
Back to life. Hey,
Yeah.
another fact here is we have over 100 people here live tuning in.
Whoa, I need to look at the comments.
Yeah, so guys, if you want to get some feedback or question in for Rob, we're making this a shorter episode, but get in a super chat, help out the podcast, show some support. Speaking of support, we want to thank Get Blitzed for this week for being our sponsor, our weekly sponsor. Get Blitz Lit Aid Nano Infused THC Syrup is a premium cannabis infused syrup formulated with nanotechnology for fast acting effects. It stands out with its advanced nanotechnology formulation, which allows for quicker onset and enhanced potency compared to regular THC syrups. Get Blitz Lit Aid Nano-infused THC syrup can be mixed with your favorite beverage, such as soda, tonic water, or juice, or used as a drizzle for food, even for cannabis experience. We met Mickey Ray Sinatra this weekend at WrestleCon. He was there. He had a table there and was handing out some of that stuff. And man, pretty good. Word got around. Godfather was using it, everything like that. And guys, you can use it too. Use promo code RVD. Go to get-blitz.com. Use promo code RVD and get 15% off. They got key lime pie, cherry, tiger's blood, some other flavors that you guys should check out too. Check it out. Mickey Ray Sinatra and Courtney are both the proprietors of that. So go to get-blitz.com. Use promo code RVD and get 15% off. All right. Rob, something else, that was a big part of the WrestleMania weekend was the Hall of Fame. You were there. Paul Heyman got inducted, gave you a hug, and then mentioned you in the speech and everything like that. What'd you think of that whole experience? How did you think of Paul's speech and everything?
I thought it was really cool. That was really the motivation for me to go. I mean, maybe we would have went anyway. I don't know. It was up in the air. But Katie likes to go to the Hall of Fame, and I like the RVD pop at the beginning.
Yeah.
I like hearing you got one of the loudest pops. Actually, it was cool. I like the Rock's speeches and stuff. Paul's speech was awesome. Like I would like to hear it again, go back and listen to it all, because the following couple of days at WrestleCon and around Philly, I was learning how much it impacted all of the fans. They were like really engaged and rated it like one of the best speeches that they've ever heard. And what a great time and place to do that, to nail that out of the park. So I want to go back and look at it, because while I was there listening, I wasn't thinking about it like I wasn't thinking about it in its totality. I was thinking about it, listening to the stories he's telling, but also realizing that he's performing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
When he got the hat, put the hat on, I was like, okay. I mean, obviously he had like all of this worked out, which of course you would. But I was looking at it like that way, just like, wow, Paul really knows, the people, knows how to connect with people, knows what they like. I was looking at it that way, and I was right. And he connected with the people, but I wasn't as much, I guess, taking in all the content that they took in. So I want to hear it again.
Yeah. Oh man, like I was up in the press box for it, and like all the stuff that he touched upon, he covered so many bases, like all his eras as like what he was from, like, Paulie Dangerously to ECW, to being the Advocate, to being the Wiseman, to being a father. It was like hitting on all the points. It was emotional. He was using swear words all the time. I'm curious to go back and watch it too and see what they all bleeped out, because he was saying some stuff. And yeah, it was really well done. And like, yeah, the takeaway after it, I was looking on social media and interacting with people throughout the rest of the weekend. Definitely considered one of the top Hall of Fame speeches there ever has been. So.
Epic.
Yeah. Very much so. Very
That
much.
word is used a lot, but I think when they talk about it in this manner, I think that's a good fit. I think that people are agreeing that his speech was epic. Like that's gonna stand out in time.
Right. Oh my gosh, it definitely will. Yeah, all the shout outs he made to all the ECW guys, and then calling out some people too, like in the crowd from Triple H to Cody to
What
Dusty.
did he say about them? I don't know.
So he mentioned, so he was saying how he's a Paul Levesque guy. Like everybody says he's a Paul. Yeah, I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh, well, I'm a Paul Levesque guy," and he was talking about how he's Paul Levesque's bringing pro wrestling into the future and everything like that, basically, and saying that WWE is basically in good hands and stuff like that.
So, but I mean, okay, because I guess I heard that, but I was trying to hear something more than that because I thought that people were, and you too, I thought were saying like that he was shooting on Paul and made it sound like something maybe less than positive. I don't know.
Oh no, he was like super positive about Triple H and all that stuff and what he's done.
Stephanie.
Yeah, and Stephanie too, and yeah, he covered a lot of ground. Who else did you get to interact with? I saw you chatting with Jimmy Hart down there a little bit because he was sitting in front of you, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yeah, I love Jimmy. I
He's-
see him. I see him quite a bit. He gets out, does a lot of these conventions that I'm at, so we see each other. Seems like at the Hall of Fame, it doesn't seem like and most people were just in passing.
Sure.
It wasn't. There wasn't. I don't know. It seems like a lot of times there's like rooms where a bunch of us are gathered waiting to get instructions when to go. Maybe it's because I was so late. Probably, by the time we were there, they were like, go, and we were like, where's the bathroom? Where's
Yeah.
catering? You got catering? And they're like, well, I guess you got time. Yeah. So maybe that's why, but I don't know. Who I saw that I don't see a lot.
Did you get to see The Rock or interact with him at all, or
Not enough.
no? How about Kurt Angle?
No, sir.
Nope. Okay. Triple H?
Oh, I shook his hand, him and Stephanie, just that's all.
Yeah.
Just walk by and hey, hello.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's being in that kind of element and such a busy weekend. You even mentioned it too when you're at the conventions and stuff, how it's hard to get around and actually see people and stuff like that because you got your own line you're dealing with and your own business that you're doing too. So
Yeah, just like this last week at WrestleCon, I never made it upstairs, and that's where all the ECW guys were and stuff. But I'm there to do business, and I get a flat rate. So the people that bring me in, they have to fly me in, take care of my hotel, pay me, charge whatever they want to charge on everything, take care of all of that. And then if they do business right and it's a good thing for them, then they make money off of it, So I'm explaining that for anyone that's here. So really, even if I'm not signing and I'm just sitting at the table doing nothing, in the short term, hey, that'd be great for me. But I still like to see good business done. So where I see, like, hey, you guys are taking me away from the table too much. I should be here because I got a huge line here and you take me away from it and there's money, boom, boom, boom. Even if it, even if it's not my money short term and I'm taken care of anyway, I'd like to see good business and this week was really busy and for the most part of it, I had a lot of nonstop lines, through the whole time, and then boom, all of a sudden it's 5:00 and or
your
whatever.
line was pretty darn constant throughout the whole weekend when I was there at WrestleCon. It was there. There was Trish over there, Lita was over there, and you were there, Flair was over on the other side, and all those lines were just very long.
And because of what I just said, to everybody and explain how it works, because I get paid a flat rate, and then it's up to the payer to try to make their money back off of me. Because of that, the deal might be different on what a ticket to get a picture with RVD might be. For instance, if you came to WrestleCon, man, they had to bring so much money. But that's what WrestleCon's all about. All the wrestlers are there. You got to expect it. But I mean, for $150 to use your own camera and have me sign your thing, or your X figure or something, and whatever it is, it's a lot, but they got to make a lot back. But then, and there's a bunch of people, big line of people to do it all day, and ching 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 ching. I go to the Indigo dispensary, free.
Wow, how about that?
Again, a nonstop line all the way till the end. One guy tried to have like 20 or 30 items signed.
You were saying that, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And while they were kicking him out, he's looking at me like, Rob, they told me I could do this. I talked to him on the phone. They told me to promote it. And, he's talking like he got screwed over. So I'm like, man, that sucks, But what could I do? I have this big line, and while they're willing to take the heat for it or whatever, I did give him a couple more in the back on the way out. But anyway, I went to the casino in Philly. Get your picture with RVD. Guess how much it was there?
How much?
Free. Yeah, and one signature. So people would bring an action figure or belt or whatever on their way to WrestleMania on Sunday.
Wow.
And it was a really good, same thing. It was a really good turnout. We had a lot of people. The casino was awesome. We had a lot of fun. We stayed there and just drank and watched first few matches, or it was on anyway, while we were socializing and at the Philly Casino live. So that was a really cool place to do an appearance and stuff. But I was just thinking, like, wow. And I even said that to a couple of fans. They said, someone said to me, man, I was trying to go by and meet you at WrestleMania, but I didn't have enough money. I said, so you just waited and came here and it's free, right? And he said, yeah. Boom.
Yeah, people's got to keep their eyes open for it. Keep their eyes open.
Sometimes, I mean, it's not often. Like WrestleMania week is the busiest week all year, and I think everybody knows that. So we're hustling, but sometimes it be that way.
Sometimes it'd be that way for sure. No, it's cool because I remember too when we did StarCast, you were very much considerate of your time because we were going to do a live show, and you're like, I don't want to take away from my promoter's time or anything like that because you already got a flat rate, and so you didn't want to take away from what they were earning there or anything like that too. So it's like,
a lot of wrestlers wouldn't give a shit, and they would be like, what? It's your fourth smoking break. Hey, man, I like to smoke, but no, I mean, I'm long term. I got a pretty long, outstanding relationship to care about, and to protect with my actions. So, except for a couple of crazy people melting my action figures or something.
What? They melt your action figures?
Somebody, I don't know if they did or there was something something recently, like somebody I got booked, right? And then within 3 hours later, I had to cancel it, and it was because it was a conflict between them and the promoters that booked me like every weekend, the Bobby Fulton family, right?
Yeah.
And they were saying that this guy, he's really, what a piece of crap this guy is, this and that, and so much that they didn't want me to squeeze in this, even though it was a date that was open. And it was something that, was obvious after talking to them that they were unshakable on it. It really meant a lot. And it was only, a few hours since the guy had wired me money. So, I said, hey, sorry, I wired it back. And then the guy proved what a crazy dude he is. And I never talked to the actual guy. I had a middleman that I know, Moose, cool dude. We see him all the time. But the actual promoter went online, and people were telling me, this guy's going online, like talking on this crazy stuff. And I saw something like I don't know if it was the caption or something, or if it was a text that says something about, we can only trust a man by his word, and that as far as a man's word goes is as much as we got, and this a big long thing. And I was like, what? This is the thing that was like 3 hours later or something? I should look at my PayPal and see exactly how many the time. But it was something that just kind of blew over, but he was trying to make a big deal about it, and he did a video. Someone sent it to me, but I didn't watch it because I was on an airplane and had the sound down and stuff. But he had a bunch of action figures, and someone told me he was selling them like Bobby Fulton told me the dude was selling at like $5 or something.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where I got melting. I think it was either in the caption maybe or something that said, "It's too bad it's illegal to melt action figures" or something. I don't know, but I would have bought them at $5 a piece. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
someone actually asked me to comment on it, and a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, yeah, it's it's not really big enough, but there you go. Now I have, and now the guy in whatever Kentucky, some Kentucky. No, I don't think it was Bowling Green. But anyway, from what I could see, Bobby, thank you for saving me from, trying to work with this crazy dude. I don't want to work with crazy people. I don't want to work with low-level people. Like people be like, oh, but you charge too much. I can't afford you on my shitty little show with 200 people. Exactly.
That's it. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't want to be on your shitty little show.
Yeah. That's it.
Hey,
Hey, figures though, Rob.
Can afford me, I'm gonna have to raise the price again.
Right?
That's how that works. Yeah.
Speaking of figures, you have a new one that got announced, and I actually just happened to see it physically here, and it's pretty damn sweet. It's ECW era RVD. I don't know when it's set to release, but it was at WrestleCon or WrestleMania World, WE World, and you have both the ECW titles and some of your vintage singlet there too. Pretty damn awesome there.
Nice.
That's cool. Yep. And then I also had another picture of your figure, the other one too, your Monday Night Wars figure that's going to release too. So
there we go. I think is that the same head or no? Because
I think it's the same head, Rob. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That one looks skinnier, but it's probably just the angle.
Yeah, probably the angle and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah. And then they, like I said, I sent you
that outfit. That the second one, well, the first one, the where I got both belts, reminds me of the match with Pile Dreamer with November to Remember when I took that pile driver.
Yeah.
Boom,
popped up. Yeah.
Learn that because that's what I think of when I see it.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
YouTube Chris could tell us.
Oh yeah, he'll let us know. They had also a nice display too for you at WWE World. They had like the ECW entrance set up, and your singlets. Several of your singlets were there. That one's a very popular one. Then we had this one there too, for the Guilty as Charged.
Yeah, were you there taking pictures with your phone?
Yeah. I was taking pictures with my phone and all that stuff. So it was really, really cool. They had
that one. So that outfit, that last one.
This one here?
Yeah, that for some reason that makes me think of Belmar, New Jersey, the outside show in the heat with the ring in the sand at Belmar, whatever the name of that bar is. When they say it, I forget what they're talking about. But now, anyway, that's what that makes me think of. Yeah, memories.
Yep, heck yeah. And it's funny too how you mentioned like the airbrush technique, it fades after time and stuff like that. And like being there up close in person, you could definitely see those singlets are faded, what they were. Yeah.
That one, I think, is from like 98, 99.
This one I've seen you wear before, like several times, I think.
Yeah, that was not an action figure.
Yeah. And then this one, I'm not sure where this one's
from.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that one's on a figure or not. That one looks like the it looks like we were learning on that one to like we need more elasticity in the shoulder straps. They roll in, and I always hate it when the legs slide up, but that's always a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bought this underwear, compression short, kind of not really compression shorts. They're called One Step. And because I like the lawyer Bruce Rivers I watch his YouTube show, and he puts it over strong, and they specifically say that it won't roll up on you. And I bought it, and it rolled up on me, and yeah, I'm so disappointed because I thought like this is it. These commercials are for me. Like they're talking about me. This is the perfect because it costs a lot. You know, it's like 30, 40 bucks a pair to start at, you know, as opposed to buying a 6-pack or something. But it's worth it because they're perfect and the mate. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough. I don't want to put that fucking their underwear over any more than that. But
We won't give out the website or nothing.
no.
We got a couple of super chats. Vengeful 191. Thanks for the $2 Australian, the $2.99.
Also, by the way, sorry, I interrupt you because I'm trying to catch it while we're still on the last question.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I don't know how they got those outfits. So maybe they hunted him down, you know, just like they do like on that TV show that
Treasures or whatever.
Yeah, maybe they did something like that. Maybe they filmed it and I don't know about it. Maybe they'll show it or maybe they do some and don't film it. Like I don't know why, but I didn't donate them or anything. And
I was wondering too. I was like, did Rob give those to him or what exactly? How did that exactly work? Because yeah, they had those 3 there. And then if you notice too, Rob, let me pull that picture up just real quick again. Your bust is there too. You're doing the RVD thing. Did you do something for that, or did
I don't know?
Yeah,
like I really don't know. Yeah, I can't remember if I did or not.
Yeah, that's. I thought that was pretty cool element.
Is that the outfit that I wore at WrestleMania 18 and won the Intercontinental Champion from William Regal?
No.
No, okay.
No, I just saw that one too, and yeah, no, it wasn't. You had the one you have was like a purple one, and I think it had like the dragon, obviously, but then it had like a red flame on it too, and stuff like that. It was different a little bit.
Cool.
Yep. Super chats. Let me pull those back up again. Vengeful 191. He said, "Did you get to interact with Al Snow or Shamrock?" I guess he means over WrestleMania weekend. I met Al during the weekend. I didn't see Shamrock, but I knew he was at the Hall of Fame. I happened to see him there.
I only saw Ken Shamrock like across the way at Hall of Fame also. And I tried to get his attention just because I wanted to wave to him, but I didn't. We never made eye contact.
Yeah. How about Al? Did you interact with Al at all or get to see him?
No. No, but I feel like I might have seen him sometime over the week because I just remember saying, "Hi, Al Snow." I don't even know where, somewhere. Yeah.
Did you hear? So Blue Meanie got married, like officially got married over the weekend.
Oh, just now?
Just during Meanie Mania, he got married.
Oh.
And, like, so at that bar he usually goes to, and Al Snow officiated the wedding. He was an ordained minister, apparently.
Okay.
He did that.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, pretty neat stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. Who showed up?
Better than Sinister Minister, I think.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want Sinister Minister doing that stuff. Okay, another super chat. Mac West, thanks for the $3. He says, RVD, which martial arts did you study? What was your primary martial arts, Rob?
So I didn't really have a primary art so much as a sport of kickboxing. So, and obviously I've told this many times over the hundreds and hundreds of years that I've been walking the planet, but so I got into kickboxing, and then from there I took a bunch of arts to supplement my kickboxing.
Yeah.
And with the kickboxing, we would do our stretches, learn our strikes and all that stuff, and we would spar. And then I'd be like, man, who did I just knock out? You know, what's he do? And they said, well, he's a black belt in karate. I was like, oh, cool. And there was the Battle Creek Budokan, and they taught karate, kendo, and what was the other one that they taught? There was 3 things there: kendo, karate, and aikido. And that was the Battle Creek Budokan, and so like I think that might have been the first place I went after the kickboxing, because Kit Likens, he disappeared for a while, which I think he did a couple of times. We'd be training with him and stuff. And then he's like, hey, I got to go to Kentucky for a while, and boom, and then he's gone. And that happened a couple of times. That led to me wanting to do my own shows and with the ring, because I had the ring in my yard. But anyway, so when that happened, I went to the Battle Creek Budokan and started on some coupons like my mom had in a book, a coupon book for 2 free weeks or whatever. And then I got over with everybody, and then I was always invited to come back. And then there was a little bit of tongue pseudo through my friend Aaron and his instructor at the Kellogg Community College, very little. And in Battle Creek, also a little bit of Taekwondo, and that was through Gene Mead would come over and train with us. And sometimes he'd bring us to where he was learning it, and that was Todd Tadamy's Taekwondo. Battle Creek was pretty small. There was only like those 3 places at that time. MMA was not even thought of yet. These were all completely separate arts. There was no hybrids. So anyway, there was that, but I always just like putting on the gloves and the foot pads and going at it. On the road, I've learned, I've taken several, I've had several jujitsu workouts. The only thing that I've really spent a lot of time on, more than anything else, is something called Kaju Kenbo. And that's when I lived in Savannah, Georgia. I took Kaju Kenbo at the Gold's Gym. And Sifu Katani was a really cool dude. Just like everywhere else, he would let me come in free to his class. And a lot of the classes that I would go to over the years, I would go in on sparring day and spar, and I never learned all the different forms and katas to go through all the belts and stuff. I wanted to, with Kaju Kenbo, to learn that. And Sifu Katani went through videotaping himself doing every single little, outward block technique, inward, punch, every little tiny little thing, because he understood I was always on the road wrestling for Japan at the time and shit. And he wanted me to be able to study it and learn it. And he said he would put me through the belts, at a quick but appropriate speed. But I could never do it. Like watching it and trying to learn it, I was like, wait, he's backwards on TV, whatever. So it was mostly always about sparring. But Kaju Kenbo, that one, for several months, I would go to class because it was at the Gold's Gym that I worked out at. I lived very near there. And that was 94, maybe 95. Yeah, probably close to that anyway. Like I said, my brain's not on full function yet today, so I'm gonna not strain it too hard. But Kaju Kenbo has 5 arts in it. Kaju Kenbo all stands for something: karate, judo, boxing, kenpo. Boxing is like Kaju, judo, I think judo and jiu-jitsu, karate, Kaju, kenpo, boxing. Anyway, huh?
I'm looking it up right now. So Ka is from Korean karate, Tang Soo Do. Ju is from Japanese judo, jujitsu, and jujitsu. Ken is from Kenpo, or Japanese word for fist. And Bo is Western boxing as well as Chinese boxing.
So also my favorite thing that I've ever taken, it's a lot, I found it to be a lot of useful stuff, similar to like Krav Maga, which I've also taken that. Like sometimes I would go and do some workouts. I did that, I think, in California, actually. Check it out, so not when I was a kid, but, more recently. And I've always loved Krav Maga. The fact that it's something that's realistic, and it's not like It's not really meant for show and for tournaments. It's meant to end the fight and stop the danger. So you do stuff, like grabbing the eye sockets and punch him in the throat and stuff like that. And Kaji Kembo had a lot of that too, punching in the temple, sticking your fingers in their eyes and pulling back on them, from behind. And I liked a lot of that just because it's cool to know realistic, more stuff that you might actually get in a fight instead of a jumping 720 spin kick that you think you can do on the street because you did it in class.
Right. No, that would be the valuable stuff to learn, is that kind of stuff. Push comes to shove, you need to do that kind of stuff. Hey, it's right there for you.
Shin kicks, stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff. It's got to be valuable. No, we had a couple more super chats. Somebody just commented, Dan Red 18, thanks for the $2. He said, your WWE run took me from a WCW guy to watching them. So how about that?
Nice, dude.
Making those moves over. How about that? Thanks there, Dan. Duo.
I wonder which WWE run. Probably the 2001.
Your first one. When you showed up, I bet it was just like, oh, hey, RVD. And this
first time I showed up, that would have been the Invasion in '97.
Oh, good point. Maybe, yeah, right. Hey, follow up, Dan, if you happen to see that, if you're still around. Day Duo, thanks for the $5. Were there any unreleased merch items you saw samples or prototypes of that you wish had been produced? We kind of talked about this before on some previous episodes. At least you had some ideas and you made some pitches to Vince about some merchandise that never came to fruition.
Yeah, did that just say of merch or anything?
Yeah, merch. Were there any unreleased merch items you saw samples or prototypes of that you wish had been produced?
I definitely had some in my head that didn't make it as far as getting a prototype. Some of them that I did talk to Vince about. Some of them I'm not sure if I brought it up or not. One of those was when I had the Money in the Bank briefcase. When I won it, it was a black fucking regular briefcase, and then we painted it. Joe Holland painted it, made it look badass, and I wanted us to be able to sell like lunch boxes that were painted to look like it for kids or whatever. I didn't know how long I would have the money. I had no idea how long I'd have it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't think that it was. I didn't know really that Mr. Money in the Bank was something that was going to be remembered for forever in history. I really didn't understand that. In fact, I got the briefcase after the match, and I went through Gorilla. Everyone was like, hey, good match. I'm used to that. But I tried to hand the briefcase back to Michael Hayes. He said, oh, no.
Hey, brother, you keep that.
I tried to hand it to someone else. They said, no, that's yours. I was like, what? They said, you got to carry that around with you. And I was like, I can't. I already have a carry-on bag. Like I was like frazzled because it was hard. It's hard to travel. You haven't gone to a system to where, okay, maybe, I can wear one less pair of socks and bring my toothbrush. You know what I mean? Like when you have it that packed and utilized, you can't just bring an extra fucking briefcase. So I used it as my carry-on, and I opened it up. I put my underwear and my socks in there and stuff, and that was how I got around with it. But the lunchbox thing, I don't know. I can't say for sure if I talked to them or not about it. I know I talked to Vince about the Flintstone vitamin WWE wrestlers, and he liked that idea. And the guy that knew someone, the guy that knew the guy that worked at Bayer Aspirin, ended up saying that the whole deal was off, that the other guy screwed it up. When I think about prototypes, I remember like only things that were made. When I've been at Jack's, visiting the toy company or anywhere else too. It's when I see prototypes, I can only remember seeing them of things that were eventually made. So I guess nothing comes to mind except for, what comes to mind.
Rob, speaking of the figures, those Jacks too, when that came out, you were one of the first figures they did where they did the real scan of their faces, I remember. Because before that, they would just do molds of their faces, and a lot of the guys did not look like who they were supposed to be. But then they did the real skin stuff, and hey, sure enough, there's RVD there. So that's kind of neat.
But then was it really better then?
Yeah, it was. It
Okay.
was. Like, it was definitely an upgrade. You're like, okay, that looks like RVD, but that does not look like The Rock.
Okay. Because the way I remembered it, I thought that it was still, like maybe I had higher expectations, but I thought that I remember, whoa, they're actually scanning it's going to be my exact face on the figure this time. It's going to be so cool. And then I think when I saw it, I'm not sure which figure the first one was, but I remember when I was looking at it, I was like,
you probably were like that. Cause I mean, like, for me as like a high schooler or like whatever age I was at the time, I was like, damn, that looks like RVD. This is such an upgrade to the other figures and stuff like that. But probably starting off and be like, I don't know if that really looks like me. You might have been like that too. So pretty funny shit. Somebody said, just chimed in for $2. Tater Tot says the whole fucking show. So how about that? There we go. Hell yeah. Boom.
yes, sir.
I love it. I love it. Cool. Rob, I guess the only thing I guess maybe to cover else that I wanted to maybe touch upon, did you catch any of Mania when it came to like seeing The Rock or clips of Cody or anything like that? What are your thoughts on anything that you kind of garnered from it, whether you saw it or you just caught wind of some of the stuff?
One thought I have is that I was asked several times leading up to WrestleMania who I thought was going to win between Cody and Roman,
Uh-huh.
and I said Cody, and they seemed surprised. They're like, "What?" And I said, "I mean, I could see them going that way because they seem to be, if it was Roman, it seems like it would be like a dark cloud over the people, which they seem to give a shit. When Roman looked like he was bumped out and everyone was crying about him not finishing his story, it seemed like, like they wanted to have a sunny day after that, and I couldn't imagine them clouding it up again. Like, so I was like, yeah, I can see Cody winning, and I saw Cody's got a belt, but then I don't know, Rock's got a belt. I think Roman's got a belt. I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah, so The Rock got a belt from Muhammad Ali's wife, the People's Championship. So it's his own title. So he's been carrying that around. Then
People's
Cody,
Championship. That's awesome.
yeah,
and he's who has held it so far? Only The Rock.
just The Rock. It was just given to The Rock. The Rock.
Not Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali never wore it.
No. But since Muhammad Ali called himself the People's Champion, The Rock then later on, when he was with the Nation, he called himself the People's Champion, and he got Muhammad Ali's blessing at the time to say that. And so then afterwards, during the Hall of Fame induction, when Muhammad Ali's wife was inducting Muhammad, she met
I was thinking it sounds familiar. They told the story at the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah. And so she presented the belt to The Rock while he was there.
But he never wore it.
He carried it around on Raw. I think he had it at WrestleMania too, maybe. But
Okay.
so it's kind of become part of the story too with him and Cody. And so, but yeah, Roman lost to Cody, so now Cody has that belt. Roman's taking a hiatus, so that's kind of where it's all standing out. But I thought it was pretty cool how they tied Muhammad Ali into everything. I really liked that a lot. So
yeah, I didn't watch it, so I missed the magic.
yeah. Pretty neat spectacle being in Philadelphia. Bobby Ray showed up for one. He was a special guest ref in the one.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
Yep.
saw that when we were at the casino.
Yeah, there we go. So pretty neat atmosphere. It was cold as fuck though on Saturday night. If you were outside, it was really cold being up there.
Speaking of which, it's like summer here in Vegas, like hot.
Is it?
Not hot like 120 degrees, but hot like 80 degrees and sunny and strong, intense sun. So it's fucking awesome. I don't know what it's going to be like in Detroit this weekend.
Yeah,
right.
Greg Gagne, he was saying up in Minnesota today that it was mid 50s, so maybe expect something like that. I don't know coming up, but hopefully it's not too bad. Okay, couple more super chats and then we'll close on out and get the heck out of Dodge. K-Man's New Zealand, $2. Thanks, man. Does RVD listen to Tupac? Do you listen to Tupac sometimes, RVD? I know your music taste always changes and you're not big into it, but how about Tupac as a rapper?
Yes, whenever I have to.
There you go. There you go.
It's funny that people that like him seem really passionate about him. And when I used to ride with Booker T would sing while he would play Tupac and he would sing to it. And that song, you always be the Black Queen, Mama.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah. Uh-huh.
When Booker would sing that, I took that as if he really could relate to the lyrics and the song because he lost his mama, and and I always will probably think of Book when I hear certain songs because me and Book rode thousands of miles together, and that was part of the trip. He liked Tupac and he would listen to it. Seems like at least once a day, if not more. Um, in Philly, we had this crazy Uber driver that took us to New Jersey, and while Katie's in the front seat, and then I'm in the because she's doing her makeup in the mirror. I'm in the back, and Dee's next to me, and he kept saying, "Dude, do you want me to stop? So you can do your makeup?" She's like, "No, I got this." A few more blocks later, he kept saying, "I feel like I should stop. You're so beautiful. I don't want to mess you up." And she's like, "I'm good. I got it. Just I got it on the way." And a few blocks later, at first I just thought, and maybe he was just like hitting on her. I don't know. He's just like, oh, he's like, I could just pull over. And he said, "You're so beautiful. I'm not used to seeing so many tattoos." And, and she's like, looking back, and she's like, "I'm good." And right when I'm about to say something, like, because he's really starting to be annoying. Right when I'm about to say something, he goes, "You can smoke." Oh, okay, never mind. You're cool then. If you're gonna be like that, then all right, man. I fucking lit up my joint that I had, and I'm smoking it, and this motherfucker's playing Tupac. And then he's like looking at Katie, and he's like bobbing or whatever, and he sees that I don't know what he sees, something that prompts him to turn it all the way up.
What?
All the way up.
What?
I hate loud music.
Yeah.
Always. I mean, I always talk about that I'm not musically inclined, which is true, but I also hate loud music. If you want me to meet you somewhere and you say this place is great, they got live music, I'm standing you up, bitch. I fucking hate it. I hate it. Especially when you're somewhere you're trying to talk, and you can't talk. But what? Never mind. I'll wait till this song is over. Anyway, the dude turns it all the way up, and then I'm like, dude, I had to give him the fucking. That's too much.
Yeah.
And so he turned it down like halfway, but it was very loud, and I was just like, this motherfucker wasn't letting me smoke right now.
He would have it. He would have it.
So I guess I could put up with his annoying ass, but that was just too loud. But yeah, this guy was crazy. It took us all the way to the Monster Factory where we were filming shit that we'll be talking about soon.
Soon. Yeah, good stuff. Something else I wanted to ask you too, real quick. I can't remember.
It was that same shit though. And then he tells me too, like before he says that, he says he just lost his mama on Valentine's Day, and then cranks that song up, and it's like, what am I gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah, that he puts you in a hard predicament there. Yeah. I wonder what his rating was. If you're blaring music and you're talking all the time, it's like
one thing that I know is his car was a lot more trashed with fucking ashes and fucking sprinkled up pot and everything all over the back seat after I got out of it. I was like, he didn't know he was gonna have to fucking vacuum and shit.
Yeah, you made the most of the experience at least. So there we go. Cool, Rob. I guess that'll do it. Derek here, Coda says, thanks for the Canadian 279. RVD Scarface S says, hope you're doing good, Chico. So there you go. 8-ball and some smoke going on. How about that?
That's fucking that's awesome, dude. If that's the guy Instagram.
Oh, maybe.
So entertaining because he can animate over people's
Oh,
mouths, and he did me like he's done, but it's in like he's done me with my voice, and he does the Scarface
Tony Montana.
Tony Montana a lot, but yeah, man, we should look him up, see if that's him. I told him a long time ago, dude, I had an idea for him to do RVD CBD and have the labels like talking to each other, the product and
Oh,
shit.
that's cool. That'd been a good idea. Yeah.
Right, but then obviously,
Obviously
that is no longer valid. Dude, he's so fun. He's a comedian, and then he's got obviously some program and some know-how to do this animation, and it's so fun. But it's Scarface Insta, so I don't.
Oh, okay.
No, that is him because it's Scar/Faces. Anyway, Junoman, I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you, Chico. Oh, we do have one more here. Let's see. Greg Jacobson, $1.99. Thank you, brother. What's your thoughts on the CM Punk video on AEW? Did you happen to see that, Rob?
How are we gonna not talk about that?
Yeah.
First off, do we release these like when we talk about this now? Because everyone's talking about it. I saw everyone's channels talking about it.
Right.
Like, do we release these on a timely manner, or does this come out like 2 or 3 weeks later? And
Oh, no, what it would do is I'd release it on Monday. But if it's a time sensitive thing, typically what I will do is I'll go in and clip it up and then I'll put it up on YouTube earlier. So it's still time sensitive. You know what I mean? So, like, for example, like this topic, I might clip up and put on YouTube.
I was wondering about that when I saw something. I can't remember if it was something about Vince or what, but it just seemed like it was 2 weeks after like everything else like broke. Or anyway, I did see the security footage, and I don't know, man. I even knew we were going to talk about this, and whatever I thought I was going to say, I don't know what it was. I don't really have strong feelings on it. I feel like this, as far as the actual footage, it's security footage. It's hard to see details. Okay, you say Phil's got him in a front face lock. I believe you. I would have to rewind it a few times, myself, expand it to see it. I can't. But anyway, okay, boom, that happened. They split it up. But it's not about that. I don't think it's about the timing, and it's about why did AEW release this? That's what everyone's talking about. They're saying it's desperate, that it's an all-time low, that everyone's going to give up on them now. I don't really believe the hype, behind all of that. I think there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of people talking. They've been talking, and if everybody is able to back their conversation with numbers, which I don't know, but if you're AEW haters and you're watching week after week and you're seeing the numbers decline or whatever, then keep doing it. Then keep doing it all the way. I know that when I was with Impact, that the whole time I was there from 2010 till 2012 or 13, and then definitely during that time, they were always rumored to be folding. They were closing. It was going to be their last week. They ran out of money. They're going to get kicked off of TV. All of it was just everybody talking, and then Dixie Carter just showing up every week and not reacting in any way that I saw to that negativity out there. So I kind of feel like that about AEW because them choosing to show the altercation, what did it do for their show? I don't know. Maybe it got ratings. Maybe people tuned in just to watch that show. I don't know if they did or not. I don't know.
It got a boost. It got think I got like a 29% boost or something.
Well, so I look at it um, WWE used to be so big that they wouldn't even acknowledge that any other companies existed, right?
Right.
They never mentioned another company. If there was a well-known wrestler from somewhere else and he came in, they wiped out his identity like like a thief, and then just fucking gave him a new name, new character. That's what I thought they were going to do with me, because that's what they always did.
Right.
And they were changing times, thankfully, during that era, and they added to my story, to my depth, by continuing my path instead of trying to recreate it. And I was very thankful for that. ECW, they would do the other way, as far as like, not only would they acknowledge the other companies, they would do things that Sabu thought was too much, because he thought it made us look too small.
Uh-huh.
He thought that like BWO,
Yeah.
that's us. We have our own wrestlers, and their whole character is being like clown imitations of this other team that is on TV, and Sabu's saying, you should say, hey, we got a team that can kick your ass. Instead, we got a team that's making fun of one of your teams that draws because we can't draw. Sabu took it like that. That's how people are taking this whole AEW thing. They're saying that by AEW filming it, that they're localizing their growth potential to a point to where they're coming across small. Some people think they're going to implode. They're so small. And I look at it like it's more like ECW style. And for ECW, they capitalized on being the small guy. And I get it. If AEW, if they're trying to say, hey, we're big as hell, just like WWE, then maybe that's not going to be, conducive to that flow. But if we're AEW, we have our own identity, whatever, and we acknowledge that there's other wrestling companies, and we acknowledge, what's going on on the internet that people know about, whatever, ECW would do stuff like that all the time. That's just like one example. But if somebody got in legal trouble, they would make it part of the storyline. That's how I take it. I take AEW just from a show writer's point of view. I take it like their style is, and always has been, more like ECW. So for that reason, I'm okay, even though I don't know why they showed it.
Yeah. And that's a good point. Like, I never looked at it from that perspective. Rob, literally before I got on with you, I wrote an article about the whole thing and gave my opinion and stuff like that. But like, looking at it from that, like, Tony Khan was a fan of ECW. He was at your show, you and Sabu in the stretcher match and all that stuff. So like, if you're going with that mentality of like, hey, we're going to push back and be the alternative where we are the rebel kind of thing aspect of it, and you want to have that kind of identity, that's definitely a different way to look at it. Where it comes.
That's why we call this show One of a Kind.
That's it, man.
But there was a lot of it Sabu didn't like, and because he was my mentor and I was, under his arm literally, and whatever he said was bond. Like we didn't like it when like Tommy Dreamer would wrestle like he's Dusty Rhodes,
right?
Because that's not what we believe. Like, hey, get your own gimmick, because he would do all the, go through like all the things. We're like, well, what the hell? That's not cool. Let Dusty do that. You do your own shit. That's how we looked at it. So
yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
But obviously the company overall, that was always part of it, was like you said, being the rebel, poking at the bigger bears, and a lot of times doing spoofs on them, shit like that.
Yeah. Wow. How about that? Man, you enlightened me here, Rob, tonight. I'm gonna have to make a couple edits, I think, on that article now. We had a couple more chime in. Tater Tot followed up. Will RVD ever have another match in WWE? He's with AEW right now, so we'll see. But that's it. That's somebody asking that.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I would totally be open to it. I don't know what it would take for that to happen.
Yeah.
So it's possible that it would take me picking up the phone and telling them that I want to do this in order to start the fire. And
Yeah, to ignite something.
if that's what it would take, chances are next to nothing that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
If it doesn't take that, if it took them calling me and saying, "Hey, are you interested?" then it could definitely happen, because the company could take a turn down a lot better than I could.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like, hey, if they have a reason to bring you in, that's another added element to it. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, okay, like I'm not making the effort to do that kind of thing. Like you've got your own shit going on too. So if it so happens, so be it. That kind of thing. So be it.
It's in 2014, after my 88 match run in 5 months, when I shouldn't have been there. They had nothing for me. I was just another body there to get the other guys over. At the end of it, when I finally did express my feelings, one of the things that stuck out in my mind was that the boss said, if you come back, which, that's next time you come back, if you do come back, that's up to you if you want to come back. If you do, then we'll make sure and have plans ahead of time. We'll know what we're doing the whole time, and we'll know who you're going to work with at each pay-per-view all the way until your way out. That happened, and there's not much that's happened since then that would throw that off of the table. But I kind of assume I'm the only one that remembers the exact wording of that conversation. And I don't think that it's because of that, but it could be. Maybe he really meant it. Maybe it would take me taking a chance of them turning me down in order for it to happen, in which case that wouldn't be healthy for anybody.
No. Good. Well said, I think. All right. Last one here, said. I cannot find the footage anymore without it edited out, but I remember after the promo on Triple H, I don't know which promo he's talking about, the camera catches your mouth, F you, and a smirk. Unsweet Teats, thanks for the $5. So probably during your feud with Triple H, I'd imagine at some point. But I have no idea what he's kind of talking about here.
I don't know, but it sounds like stuff like that could be why my 2014 run sucks so bad. Same boss, by the way, that told me that.
Yeah, there you go. Then we just had a couple of shout outs. Thanks, guys, for the super chats. Loved it for 20 years, man. Cheers for being you. Thank you, Great White Sharpie.
Awesome. Thank you, dude. The one thing that did happen since those words were said is that in some recent year, I did tell Johnny Ace that I was available for a Royal Rumble, and they didn't act upon that. And that's insulting enough. That's as far as I want to go. Yeah. But that he did. I don't know. I mean, he didn't say Yeah. Make of it what you will.
Yes. And Johnny Ace no longer there, so maybe the landscape's changed quite a bit.
Maybe it's still changing.
Maybe it's still changing. Command says from New Zealand, thanks for the $2. RVD deserved a Hall of Fame speech to a seated crowd. I was thinking about that today, Rob, because I was looking at Hall of Fame. I wanted to get a good picture of you and Paul together. And seeing your Hall of Fame, it was like, oh, it's during the COVID era. Did you kind of wish that you had people there, like more people there?
Of course, dude.
Yeah.
Of course, man. It sucked doing it in front of an empty arena. And I mean, it sucked as far as like, let me put it this way. When I was a little kid in Battle Creek, when you get to high school, maybe you start in junior high, I think in 7th or 8th grade, you start selling M&Ms and shit. Why? You're raising money for the seniors class trip. The seniors go on a really cool trip every year, and everybody is raising money for that from 7th grade up. So you do it in 7th grade, you do it in 8th grade, going door to door in your neighborhood like an idiot, fucking begging for money, soliciting chocolate and sugar. And anyway, you do it because one day it'll be your turn. You hear them talk about how fun the trips are, amazing time. You can't wait. You're going to go to the Bahamas on a cruise ship. 11th grade, you sell the fucking peanuts, and then you know what they do? They stop having the senior trips.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Because guess what? Students were drinking on the boat because it was legal at 18 in the Bahamas. All those years, and then when I get there, like, what the fuck did I sell all my M&Ms for? You know what I sold them for? A day trip to Cedar fucking Point.
No, not Cedar Point. Oh, yep. So Cedar Point.
So for 6 years for that. So, yeah,
that's a kick in the balls.
A lot of people don't even remember my Hall of Fame thing. They still want to see me get inducted or something. And they told us, not only was it in front of nobody, but they told us to go 3 minutes. That's after going to Hall of Fame for all these years, seeing everyone get their moment, to give a big speech in front of a huge packed arena that's not there to see the whole show, but to give them their time right then, that moment. Boom. Instead, I got an audio track. So every time I say something, up and down the roads to fucking Florida and back, they go,
like
something else, my next line. It was so hard to time it that I literally went like fucking 24 minutes over. Yeah, over that 3 minutes. And I didn't even know. I thought I went 7 minutes, maybe 8 minutes, but I went like 27 to 29 minutes. And I have the original, but I couldn't tell just because it was weird off. No people couldn't tell. I wanted to go over and so they could have some shit to edit.
Yeah.
But not that long ago. But anyway, same thing. It's still, obviously, I'm glad to be a Hall of Famer, glad to be inducted, glad to be in with that class with Bischoff and Kane and Molly, that Richard dude, producer guy. And, but yeah, that's how that felt, it was like, damn, man, every year and so not only is there people, but for some reason you're allowed to put some time in again now. So
right. Well, good for you for going for 24 minutes though, because that's you deserve that kind of that length of time. Yeah, COVID was rough, man. On several levels. It was tough times.
Glad we made it out.
Glad we made it out. Hey, we made it out of this episode. It's a good one. We got Lovey here. I got to meet Lovey too at WrestleCon. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Such a sweet girl too.
Lovey. She's so sweet.
She is, isn't she? Like, oh my gosh, like people were holding her. She was affectionate to everybody, playful, all that stuff.
She's amazing. Katie would like just set her on the gimmick table,
Yeah,
and she would just lay down on the ball on the pictures while Katie's walking away taking pictures and stuff. And she's just like so well behaved.
so chill, so chill.
Yeah, you are, Lovey. Good job.
What a great pooch. What a great pooch.
I'm impressed. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Well,
So this week, I got the poster, Rob. Got the poster. This weekend, if you guys happen to see this, you go to Astronomicon 7. It's in Livonia, Michigan, at the Burton Manor, April 12th through the 14th. RVD will be there. Kurt Angle will be there. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. We have Bobby Fulton, Elias, and Sergeant Slaughter all lined up to be there. I think Mick Foley was also listed there too. So take a gander, guys. It should be a damn good time. Damn good time. So, Rob, is there anything else we want to plug before we get the heck out of Dodge?
yeah, dude. I want to try to leave the people, the RVD fam, a little better off than they were, possibly. So, I got a little RVDology for you, a little bit, just a little bit. You know, a lot of you probably can't relate to this, but that's okay. That's what this is about, is reaching those of you who I'm able to reach. Now, a couple times during this show, while Dom's talking, I talk right over him and interrupt him. And then I explain, I did that because I'm still trying to hold on to that last question before we move too far past it. But I'm very aware that I do it because I hate interrupting. I hate it. I've talked to you guys about pet peeves, how it's not good to have a pet peeve. That's basically having a vulnerable spot that anybody can hit you with, like having an Achilles heel, out in the open on your forehead for everyone to see, to change your mood. And nobody should have that power over you, nor should any circumstance. Not worth it. Laugh it off. That's what I told you. And that's what I do usually. But when people interrupt me, it can get to a pretty offensive point. And man, the other day on, I don't know, Sunday, Monday, I guess it was Monday, it kept happening over and over and over. I mean, like at least for maybe 5 different times. And finally, it wasn't fun anymore, And usually what I do is as soon as somebody will talk over me, I just stop talking. Boom. Because they're telling me that whatever they got to say is more important. I'm done. I don't want to talk to you anyway. I'll save my breath. Sometimes it's something that I really want to say, though, and that's really annoying when it's like, I before I forget, I needed to tell you guys, I know you care about this. And right when I go to talk, if someone decides that's a great time for them to shout across, hey, remind me, I got to call Scott later. Okay. Remind me, I got to call Scott. What was that? Forget it. There's much worse examples than that. I'm just trying to pull one out of your head. That's usually what I will do. A lot of you don't interrupt. So hearing this may not help you out that much. But I'm hoping maybe it'll help make you aware, maybe when other people interrupt you, or it'll make you aware if you ever do. Like I know when I do that I am making a dominant move. I know when I interrupt Dom that I'm dominating him. And you know what? It's my fucking show. So I don't mind doing it.
No.
But I do notice, and a lot of people do not notice, or that's just their norm. And it could be you, Van Dam fam. Maybe this is the way that you talk with your group of people, whether it's your family or your friends or whatever. But I'm here to say, my lesson in RVDology for today is if you want to appear like you're on a higher level than the basic thinkers, this is one way that I'm going to suggest. is to try not to interrupt. Matter of fact, here's a challenge for you. If a thought hits you right in the middle of while someone's talking, keep it in your head. Don't even react to it. And then after it's done, then have your moment. Watch this and look how intelligent this is, okay? I'm listening to somebody talk. So, yeah, I know that you talked to Richard the other day. Richard and I go back a long way. Yeah, we grew up together. Yeah, Richard's a good guy. Hey, Harry, remind me to call Richard later. So, we went to school together, huh? Look how fucking smart that was. That's a challenge. That's a challenge. I know if I don't interrupt, I know even if I'm listening to someone, I go, oh, because I'm being dramatic on purpose, because that's the situation. That's why I say it might be in your norm for you to talk over each other, but to be in that competitive form of energy exchange is not only an unhealthy society. It will keep you from growing outside of the basic thinker level. So try not to interrupt. And if you have to, because you find, hey, where I'm at, you don't get heard unless you scream over everybody. Okay, don't invite me over for dinner if that's your family. Don't try and smoke a joint with me if that's you and your people, because that is not only so fucking annoying, but you know what the flaw is with that? If that's the way that we all act, right? Is that we all scream over each other and the loudest one is the one that gets heard. Listen to what I just said and how fucking stupid are we? Because the loudest one is the one who gets heard. Is the loudest one always the smartest one? Fuck no. Usually quite the opposite. That's why that motherfucker's interrupting. So, for me, after it happened like 4 or 5 times, and one person even said this to me the other day. They even said, they were explaining boom, 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 and they said, what are your thoughts? And as soon as I started talking, they said, also, we can do boom, 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 boom. I was offended at that point. You asked me what my thoughts are, and then you don't even fucking let me say that. Obviously, he didn't really mean what are your thoughts. Looking back at it, he did not mean that question. He wasn't sincere with it. I took it as if he wanted to hear my thoughts. So then I'm like, look, everyone's word is more important than mine. All of a sudden I start, like really doing this inner study. So that's my ego saying and admitting that what I say, my words are only important to me, not to everybody else. So there's a devaluation right there that you got to deal with. If that's the truth, then you look at it and you're like, wow, like my ego is so big that I think that my words are important or something. And, I do think that. And I'm not saying like I'm Yoda, but can you imagine when Yoda talks, if Yoda's like, learn the force you must. I can't do the voice. Learn the force you must. In order, if someone said, oh man, I'm hungry, I gotta get a cheeseburger when we're done. I'm sorry, what's up, Yoda? What? And I'm not saying that every time I say something, it should get the attention of a presidential address or a world leader fucking speech or anything. But it could mean more than this fucking goofball that's interrupting me to scream that he's got to remember to fucking turn his Nintendo off when he gets home or whatever the fuck he had to say. So I always get offended by it. Sometimes not as bad as others. It's always circumstantial. And within me, I think that, like I said, maybe that's an ego thing. Maybe it's just like when someone interrupts, I got to look at it like, you know what? within this environment with these people, my word doesn't mean that much. So what I have to say, even though they just asked me a question and we're doing an interview, my question, my information that I have to say that I think is important isn't to them. So either suck it up and eat the devaluation, or be around a different set of people, if that's what you need. But I do interrupt sometimes. When I do, I'm aware of it. Usually if I do it, I know I'm being rude, and then I apologize, and then or I'll explain why I did it. But I know that I'm being a dick, and that I'm being rude when I talk over someone. So even if I did mean to do it, I'll say, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Of course I meant to interrupt you. But some people don't even fucking notice, and so they'll talk over me, and so I stop talking. Sometimes they won't notice at all, and then they'll just keep on talking. And you know what? That's proof that they didn't give a fuck what I was saying. So whether you're on my end of that and you're trying to learn how to deal with being interrupted, maybe you can learn something from this. If you're the other person that's interrupting everybody and you want to at least appear to be another level above, you get this one down. I'll give you another one next week. How to appear to be a level above the basic thinkers, and interrupting people to spit out what you got to say because time is of the essence is not the way to do it. So says RVDology 101. Biatch.
I like it. So I got to lay out a little bit more. And then, I'm so used to having the broadcast DJ mentality where it's like no dead air kind of thing. So if there's like moments of that stuff, it's like, all right, I'll be a little more cognizant of it.
It's the worst when you're on the air, because there's shows where that's what they do with live. I like Man Cow, right? When I was on Man Cow, they would have like 5 guests on there, and you're supposed to, that's the one that gets heard is the one that talks. So, oh yeah, well, I did the same thing when I was in 2nd grade. Second grade, you weren't even in second, whatever it is. And I was like, you know what? This show is not for me. I was surprised he called me back. Then he texts me every once in a while. Dude, like, what the fuck? Like, are we friends? I don't know. But anyway, that's the way that is. And a lot of times Nancy Grace, when she was on CNN or Fox, not Fox, she's Fox, not CNN. Anyway, when she was on whatever the hell she was on, that was kind of her format too, is they would argue over each other. And I always hated that, because I want to hear what her opponent was actually saying. Like, he was making some damn good facts before she just raked right over him to repeat some played out shit that we've already heard her say, earlier, and has already been debunked 3 times at this point in the conversation. But that's, a lot of times that's how people debate, is by stopping the other person from being heard. That's a weapon, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. And I know too, I was just listening to like one of those debate shows too, Piers Morgan or something like that. And some lady just kept talking over the other person, and it was so fucking annoying.
I hate it. Yeah.
So annoying.
So in real life, it's something that, like, I can't believe how many times it was almost like I was getting pranked. That's what I felt like, because it was in one day, and yeah, I had to tell somebody how rude he was, and had to drop a couple of F-bombs and had to break the zen to say, like, dude, you really just fucking did that? You know what I mean? Like, you just did that, right? What the fuck am I even doing here? But, if you're like me, we probably shouldn't be so offended. They're probably not really thinking, fuck what this guy's saying. What I got to say is more important. But they're basic thinkers, and subconsciously, they can only think of one thing at a time. And that's, hey, can you take a picture of me and them together?
All that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Good thing to think about, though. Good thing to think about. No doubt about it. Mm-hmm. Keep cognizant of that stuff.
I do not like being interrupted. I don't like fighting for my breath. I don't like fighting for my time. I don't like fighting for my position, fighting for my opportunity. I mean, I've done a lot of that, and I guess in some ways, maybe some of that never ends. But I've also always felt like it's someone's job to place me accordingly. And in things like conversation, there's something as like organization or a trade-off or an exchange back and forth of pleasantries. And when people interrupt and talk right over each other, especially when it gets louder and louder, and that's something too that's I try not to let it annoy me, but I don't get how do loud people not know how fucking loud they are.
Yeah.
You're 2 tables over and you're talking to the person next to you. Why does everybody in the restaurant have to hear you? And they're having a good time and they're laughing really, really loud. Don't want to ruin their time, but they're so annoying.
I feel that. Yeah, there's definitely some of those people that are like that a lot of the times. It's like, oh, man, read the room. That's the aspect. Cool. Well, this is a good show.
I thought the guy asked me like, "Hey, what are your thoughts on this?" Right, and then he said, "It doesn't matter what your thoughts are." That's interrupted.
Who does that, huh?
Right.
Voodoo X says, "Here's $2. Buy yourself something nice."
We're gonna fucking party.
$2. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate all of that, man. That's cool to. I appreciate the questions too. Like, should we reach some in between that aren't paid to? But then again, then we would be doing all their questions because my answers are obviously lengthy and have stories in them. But sometimes I like to look through and just see if there's one or something. But I guess we got a pretty good system. I don't know. To most people, like only get to the ones that are lit up. Obviously, they stand out, and that's the whole purpose. But
yes, I do try to make a point to look for good questions, even if they're not super chats or anything like that. So if somebody does drop something like that, I will start and make note of them too. A lot of these are just shout outs to Steve Soleil. $1.99. Bro Sabu is hilarious as fuck on Twitter. Yeah, he's pretty darn funny. He's got some good quotes on there. Sabu does. And then Seth says, by the way, can we get some RVDology merch? Yeah, I was actually thinking about that, Seth. We're gonna get some stuff going, I think, a little bit here. We'll keep you in the loop with all that stuff for sure. And he also said,
Sabu. I love Sabu. We did a promo a couple of days ago. Well, yeah, a couple of days ago, where we were in Philly for Astronomicon this week, and Dylan's just like Astronomicon, Livonia, Michigan, and he's like, "You ready?" And he goes to the camera, and it's all right, let's go. And Fonzie was there too. Fonzie, Sabu, and me. And I said, boom, next weekend, Sabu. I know you're so excited about going to Livonia, Michigan, Astronomicon. It's all he talks about, man. I can't shut him up. And he started laughing when I said that. And then I started laughing. And then I thought we were going to cut but instead I just said a couple words laughing anyway. And we just band-aided it and just like kept on going. But I think I want to see the take because it's probably going to be funny to see because you see Sabu shoot laughing when I say, I can't shut him up. Can't shut him up about Astronomicon. All he does is talk and talk and talk.
Just keeps on going.
Sabu.
That's for you. Guys, if you like what you're seeing, you can go to RVD's YouTube channel at The Real RVD. You can go to rvdtv.com. New episodes drop every Monday at 4:20 p.m. We got good clips on there. We got a lot of different stuff happening on there. We got Speedball Mike Bailey's match with RVD up there.
What?
From the fans' perspective, I filmed the whole thing, so take a look there. I also dropped an interview I got to do with Rey Mysterio talking about Rob and tagging with Rob. So
nice.
Take a look at that. That's really cool. We talk about Rob for, how much it meant to him to tag with you. So it was really, really cool. So take a look.
I love Ray Ray.
He's awesome, dude. He was
Yeah,
so
he's just one of those guys that, like, I don't know, when I see him, I want to say he lights the room up, but the energy comes up, and it's Ray Ray, and he always says Rob, and it's just something stupid that we do. But genuinely, like, I love that guy, and I feel his energy, love vibes come off of him. And there's certain people that are like that, and even though, like, I guess, yeah, we work together quite a bit, but even we've always been like that, it seems like, anyway, though. I was going to say we've only worked against each other once, but we tagged a lot, obviously. We were the tag team partners, tag team champions.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Sure.
I know the action figure has the belts on him.
Right, the two-pack there. So
Tupac Shakur.
Tupac Shakur. Booker T's favorite.
Mama. Yes, sir. We're that Uber guy's favorite also.
It blurs that music. Don't blur music. Don't interrupt people, guys.
Dude, when you're in the front, if you've never been in the back seat of your car, then they maybe don't know this, but like I'm always telling, like, Katie, because to me, like, if someone's in the back, first off, I don't even like the music, but when it's so loud that there can be no conversation, then I think it could be rude. It's definitely direct. You're taking control, saying nobody's allowed to talk because I got this music. Even though I've heard this song since I'm 7 years old, I'm turning this, fucking super loud so nobody can talk. But when you're in the back seat, the speakers are very close to your head. And not everybody knows that if they've never been in the back seat. But usually they're right here on this thing, or they're back here on the gimmick that goes back. But they're very close to your head. So if you're in the front seat and you have it on the radio, unless you have it balanced special, so that the front is taking a lot more of the blow because you went through the balance yourself and manually set it up that way. Unless you did that, it's way, way louder back there. So, like, people always, like, my whole life, I've known that. People be driving, and they're talking, and I'm in the passenger, and I can barely hear them. And then they're asking something in the back. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. Hey, do you gotta pee? Or whatever. And it's like, they can't hear it because you have the fucking radio blasting in their ears. Because they're, in the front, they're down by your feet, or maybe sometimes up here, but back there, it's like right here or right here. And that's one to grow on.
Mm-hmm. Be cognizant.
Rude. Another way to be rude.
Right. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in this week on One of a Kind with RVD. We'll see you next week here, too. Rob, good times, man. Good times.
Cool, guys. I'll be all rested up next week. Right now, I'm still not recovered yet from the weekend, and I got to leave tomorrow. But then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to have all week. I'm going to be wrestling, working out, because Saturday, 4/20, I'll be in Peoria, Illinois, an AEW. And that's one thing too, we were talking about it earlier, and I was thinking one thing's for sure, no matter what anyone is saying about the company, about their numbers, about their future, about their present, whatever, everybody knows that RVD is just RVD. So it's not like anything ever could catch on to me, and rub off on me in a bad way. People would just expect me to do what I do, and that's show up where the platform is available, so the Van Dam fan can get a good look at this guy right here. Boom, there I am. 4/20. That's my next match, and that's my next booking after 4/13 and Astronomicon in Livonia, Detroit. And I hope Boogie isn't in Livonia, Boogeyman, because every time I see him, I have way too much fun with him at the bar.
Uh-oh. So maybe he might show up. Who knows?
I don't know. Let's see. Well, Yeah, these might just be the big time collectibles guys, though. You know what I mean? Because it says, see how it has their label.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is Bobby Fulton's group, and that means that he's booked us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's booked us 6 wrestlers, but there's many, 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 many others there from from the other vendors and from the convention and whatever else. Um, whatever else have you, as my dad would say.
Whatever else have you. I'm not seeing Boogeyman on there, so you might be in the clear.
Yeah, but yeah, he works for other guys though besides the full ends. Yeah, you know what I'm saying though.
Yeah, no, I'm looking and
Oh, you're
seeing.
looking at the talent list.
I'm looking at the talent list. I don't
Oh, I
see
see.
it on there, so you might be in the
Thought
clear.
I had to repeat myself, man. Like this guy ain't getting it.
He's not getting it. What's up? Basic thinker Dom here. All right. Hey, we'll see you guys next week here on One of a Kind with RVD.
Awesome. Thanks everybody. Have a great week.